This is Gemara in Gittin Daf Tes, and we're holding on the bottom of Ches Amid Beis, and we just finished with an answer, bringing out a new Yisoid, the Yisoid of Palginon Dibure. The Gemara said that Rava is going with the opinion of Rav Shimon, who holds of Palginon Dibure. Rava, who said that when an Eved walks into Bezdin, and the Eved says, Kol nechasai kniyim lecha, Rava said, Atzvacha kana, nechasim loikana. And Rava and Abaye went back and forth, and finally Rava concluded, Echad zeh, vechad zeh, atzmai kana, nechasim loikana, 4 lines on the bottom of Chesam at base, and came along Rav Adavar Masna l'Rava, Kiman, Kirav Shimon, Damar, Palginon, Dibure, Ditinan. As we learned in a Mishnah, 2 lines from the bottom of Chesam and Beis, that goes about Kol Nechasav La'avdai. So on right over all's property, says Eved, what's the din? Yatsa ben Chayrin. The Eved goes out free. Shir Karaka Kolshu. If he leaves over 1 parcel of land, 1 little bit, Lo Yatsa ben Chayrin. Why not? So Rashi explains, because if the master wrote the shtar to the Eved, but there's 1 bit that's not the Eved's, then we have to be concerned that maybe he also intended that this Eved be part of that Shayara, be part of that little bit which is not acquired to the Eved, and therefore he does not go free. That is the din of the Tanakama. Rav Shimon Aimer, says Rav Shimon, as we turn over to Tesamid Aleph, says Rav Shimon, Lo'ilam really, Hu ben Chayr. Really, it's not true, says Rav Shimon. In all scenarios, the Eved indeed does go free. Until what case? Until the master says, Kol nechasai k'niyin lecha. All my property, Kol nechasai noistin, leploini avdi. All my properties are given to Ploini avdi. Chutz mi'echad miriboy shebahen. If he leaves out 1%, then the Eved doesn't go free. Meaning, if he left off a piece of karka, fine, so then karka is not included. But if he left off something vague, he said 99% of my properties are given to my Eved, then and only then, says Rav Shimon, do we have to be worried that the Eved is included in that which is left off, and only then does the Eved not go free. So if you look at Rashi over here, Rashi at the end of this long Rashi, about 10 lines down, Rashi says, so what do we see from this brisa? Says Rashi, Alma Palginon Dibure. Why? Let's not forget what was the shtar that this Eved is holding say? Kol nechasav v'loi kana elas atzmai. And the only thing he's going to be kaina is himself. So says the Gemara, Rava is going with Rav Shimon. Ask the Gemara of Rav Yossi Bar Menumi, Rav Nachman, Afbish Kils Rav Yossi, it's Rav Shimon. Even though Rav Yossi praised Rav Shimon, but still, halacha kirambeir. The halacha is like Rameir was the Tanakama. The Tanya, as we see in our Brayse Kisham with Devar Lefnei Rav Yossi, they said this matter in front of Rav Yossi, Karav Lav Amikra Zeh. Rav Yossi read the following pasuk regarding Rav Shimon, Sfasayim Yishag Mishav Devarim Nechaychem. The lips should kiss these wonderful words. But what are we seeing? We're seeing that Rav Nachman is saying we don't paskin like Rav Shimon. Says the Gemara, Umi Amar Rav Nachman, Hachi, does Rav Nachman really hold it? So Rav Yossi Bar Menumi, Amar Rav Nachman. If someone is on his deathbed and writes over all his property, says Eved, V'amad, and then he gets better, he's not nifter. He's able to be chayzer with his properties, meaning the properties are not given over, the original owner gets them back. But he cannot be chayzer with regard to the Eved. Chayzer bin Achasev, why? Because that's the way that the halacha is when someone's on their deathbed and they give something away, we assume it's absolute in all scenarios. However, Chayzer be'Eved, why? Shariatz lav shemin chayrin, because la ma'isa, the word went out that this Eved is free, so therefore we assume that he is free. So ask the Gemara, we see that Rav Nachman clearly is being palginon, he's really splitting the words. So why are you telling me that is not true? So rather, says Rav Ashi, you know the reason why in the case of the Machlekes Rameir and Rav Shimon, the reason why Rav Nachman is passing like Rameir, passing like the Tanakama, the reason is because in that case his lav krus gitahu, the get is not absolute, and that is the reason why He's going with Rav Meir that the Eved will not go free. But Lamaisa, Rav Nachman himself does indeed hold that we ascribe to the concept of Palginon di Burei. And the Gemara continues in Mishlav Ayurim Yiskayim B'Chaysam of Kohen and the Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Irakama, how many people are married? How many people call into question the validity of this get? Ilim Irachad, if it's only one person, it can't be. You always need two people to call into question the validity of a document of a shtar. Well, you're a Trey, says Gemara, fine. So two people did it. Says the Gemara, what's second? If it's Trey, two people are calling into question the validity of this get, but two people are testifying that it's kosher. Why are you relying on these two over these two? Anytime we have two versus two, we have a clash. What's the reason you're relying one over the other? So rather answers the Gemara, the Yesai that we've been bringing out the whole time since the beginning of the Masechta, Ala'ir de Baal. You know who's doing the Ir over here? The husband himself, and there's more of an amanus of a credibility to the husband. And with that, we dive straight into the next Mishnah, about 2/3 of the way down of Tesamid Aleph. Says the Mishnah, Ha'mevi Gamimdina say, someone brings the guy from overseas, and he's not able to say Fanei Nechtav. Hopefully this should sound familiar. We had this quoted previously on Daf Dalid. If they're Eidim, you could be Mekayim the get. This is the din for both a get Isha and a shtar shichur, an emancipation document for an Evid. Shavu, and the Mishnah concludes that they are equal l'moilech l'mevi for bringing and carrying the get. And this is one of the ways that a get isha and the shtar shichur are the same. So says the Gemara, first let's deal with the first part of the Mishnah. What does it mean that someone brings the get and he's not able to say Fanei Nechtav? Hopefully this should sound familiar. The Gemara already quoted this. If you're going to tell me it's a Cherish, a def mute, Cherish bar Yisua Gita, does a Cherish have the ability to bring a get at all? Who? Now we learn to the Mishnah 10 lines from the bottom. My kol kisherim lavi is a get. Chutz b'cherish hayte ve'katan. So Amar Rav Yosef Hacha b'mayeskina. What are we doing with over here? Gave the get when he was healthy, but wasn't able to say this until he becomes a deaf mute. That is going to be the case of our Mishnah. And the Gemara continues that this is one of the cases that they are similar. So continues the Gemara on the bottom of Tesam and Aleph, quoting a Braisa on the ways that a get Isha and a get Eved, the shtar shechur, an emancipation document of an Eved, and a get Isha, one divorcing his wife, are similar. Tanur Rabbanan says the Gemara. The three ways that they're the same. Shavu l'malach l'mevi, number one, in bringing and transporting the document, b'fanei nechtaf. Number two, we call get sheish laveid kusi apostle. If there's a signature who's a kusi, it invalidates the document chutz, except for Gittin which will be kosher with the signature of an aid, which we'll see what that means. And number three, v'chol shtarais, in any document ha'olim that are brought out of be'arkayis shalakum in the Gayisha court, from a Gayisha court, from a not Jewish court, afal pi, even though shechayismeya and oivdei kachavim, on the top of Testament base. So we have a document that's coming out of a Gayish court with signatures of Gayim. What is the halacha? The halacha is such a document is kishirim. It's going to be kosher even though it's a Gayish court with Gayish signatures. Chutz those two elements, Get Isha and the Shtar Shechor, need to have a Jewish Bezdin seemingly with Eidim. And the Gemara concludes, Rameir bar Ba. Rameir listed a fourth way that Get Isha and a Shtar Shechor are the same. In what? If someone gives a Get Isha or a Shtar Shechor to a Shliach to bring to his wife, the halacha says Rameir is Rameir holds you're able to be chayzer, you're able to retract in your shlichos that you don't want to divorce the wife or free the eved, and the reason is Rashi points out because Rameir is of the opinion that to get a divorce or to free one's eved is a chayv, is a negative, and therefore ein chavin la'adam el b'fanav. So therefore, when I give it to the shliach does not accept it on the behalf of the isha or the eved. Rather, the messenger has to give it to the woman or the servant, and therefore, if before the Eved gives it, before the Shliach, gives it, I'm able to annul his Shlichos and thereby not cause there to be a Gerushin or a Shtar Shechor. So three cases in the Braisa, fourth case of Rameir. So says the Gemara, anytime we list numbers, 3, 4, usually there's a reason. So says the Gemara 6 lines down, Testament Beis. The Tanakama said 3 to exclude from Rameir's 4th. What is the case that Rameir is saying these 4 cases are the same, but not something else? What's that something else? Says the Gemara, to exclude from the following brisa. If an aid does not know how to sign his name, what do? We create for him a type of stencil on a blank piece of paper. And he fills in the stencil with ink, similar like anyone who's ever written a letter in a Sefer Torah. They write the outline of the letter and then you fill it in. So if someone does not know how to sign his name, that's what we do with him, says the brisa. Amar Rav Shimon Gamliel b'medbar murim. When is this din applicable? B'gittin nashim, only by garisha. Aval shachura avadim v'shar kol hashar timot likos v'chachtaim chaismin v'imlav ein chaismin. So says the Gemara, Rameir says these 4 cases, a get isha and a shtar shechur, are the same. Why? Because he's going like the bin of Rav Shimon Gamliel, who's going to hold that when it comes to filling in a signature, it's only going to work by a get isha, but not by a shtar shechur, meaning this is not a case that they are the same. But the Gemara just now ties up loose ends. Says the Gemara, if we look at Shimon Gamliel's words, he said, if someone does not know how to read or write, says the Gemara, read, we're discussing writing, we're discussing a stencil. Why is there Shbag coming along with a din about reading? Says the Gemara, the Bryce left out some words. If they don't know how to read, we read in front of them. And they sign. And then we make this stencil situation for them. And the Gemara continues at the 2 dots, approximately 20 lines to the bottom. Visu laka, says the Gemara, are these the only 3 or 4 cases that the shtar shechur and the get isha are the same? Are there no other cases? Vayika, what about the following case? If someone says, give this get to my wife, and he dies, you cannot give it after death. If someone says, gives this money to the person who makes, then so what do we see? We see another case that get isha and shtar shechur are the same. So why wasn't this listed? Answers the Gemara, most of the less of ishtaris. Most of these ishtaris lie. We only said entities that don't apply to other shtaris, but things that apply to other shtaris, we didn't bother ourselves listing in like Katani, we don't list them in our midst. As we see that Ravin sent in the name of Ravu, you should know. Rav Lazar sent to God in the name of Rabbeinu. Shchev Mara, Shamar Kisu, Tinu Mana Leplaini Umeis, Ein Kaisin. If he said write and sign, if the guy in deathbed said to write and sign the following money over to a certain person, Ein Kaisin, we don't do that. Ein Kaisin v'naistin. Why not? Maybe he didn't intend to give it over only if there is a proper document. So we see this another case that this application of Kisvu Tvenu is going to apply by Shar Shtaris, and that's why we don't list it part of our list. Says the Gemara, 1 second. What about the din of lishma? That's another din that applies to get and shtar shechur. So why isn't that listed? Bisham l'Rabba, says the Gemara. Hainu melech umevi. According to Rabbi, I understand this is the din of melech umevi. This is the din of bring the get that we listen in the Mishnah, because according to Rabba, why are you saying Fanei Nechtav for Lishma? El Rava Melech Umevi is teaching us din of Kiyam Shtarais, Kasha, why doesn't he list Lishma? Visu, and furthermore, being the Rabba and the Rava, Yikam Mechaber, the din of both the get Isha and the Shtar Shechur can't be connected to the ground. Says the Gemara, Kikatani Psula Dirabana, Daraisa Laikatani. We're going to stop over here, and the Gemara is going to pick it up from this point, trying to figure out if there are no other ways that Eved and Get Isha are similar or not.